y chicas, bienvenido a otra lección con señor Brown. Hoy es el 5 de mayo y quiero... ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué? 5 de mayo was yesterday? Not today? Dang it! Good morning, boys and girls, to another lesson with Mr. Brown. This is just another boring American day where nothing special happens. I'm just kidding. I'm always hyped for mathematics. Today, we are going to talk about areas of circles. Monday and Tuesday, we talked about the circumference of circles, which was the distance around a circle. Now we're going to talk about area. But before we start with the new information, here are some review questions. Look at the questions, pause the video, write them down, work them out yourself, and when you're done, you can unpause the video and I'll give you the answers, and then we'll start talking about area. Here we go. Right? Did you work these problems out for yourself? I hope so. So, here we go with the answers. We were asked to find the circumference of each circle to the nearest unit. Use 3.14 for pi. Well, there are two formulas for the circumference of a circle. All right, one of them involves a radius, one of them involves a diameter. The first is, or the second, it doesn't really matter which one's first or second, is circumference equals pi times the diameter. The other one is circumference equals 2 times pi times r. And it's our job to figure out which one of these two formulas we are supposed to use to figure out these problems. All right? You use this one if they give you a diameter. Use this one if they give you a radius. So number one, this is a circle. All right? This line only goes halfway across, which means it is a radius. So we're going to start with circumference equals 2 times pi times r. Then we're going to substitute. We're looking for the circumference, so we're going to leave that as a variable. The 2 stays a 2. Pi, or at least the approximation for pi that we're going to use, is 3.14. That is not the secret identity of pi. That's not the nickname of pi. That is an approximation for pi. All right, it's not pi's best friend either. All right, and then we plug in the radius. I think some of y'all were just being silly answering those questions. Hopefully, please, dear goodness, please let these children have been being silly. All right, then I'm going to invite you to take out your calculator, and we are going to multiply 2 times 3.14 times 13 equals 81 6400ths. And then I invite you to look back at the instructions where it specified that we were supposed to round to the nearest unit. When it says round to the nearest unit, that means the nearest whole number, the ones place. So we look at the ones place, we look at the tens place to see what to do. All right, a 6 would make the 1 round up to a 2. So the circumference of this circle is approximately 82 meters. The circumference is just measured in your unit. All right, number 2, this little line goes all the way across. So it is a diameter. So we're going to use C equals pi times D. All right, then we're going to start substituting. Circumference is approximately, pi is 3.14, or its approximation is 3.14, and the diameter here is 9. So we take our calculator, 3.14 times 9 28.26. And then we look at the tens place and the ones place. A 2 would let the 8 stay at 8, so the circumference is about 28 centimeters. All right, last one, number 3. This is also a radius. So we're going to start with circumference equals 2 pi r. So we're going to bring down the 2, use our approximation for pi, and the radius is 5.6. Oof. All right, 2 times 3.14 times 5.6 is 35.168. The 5 is in the ones place. The 1 lets the 5 stay a 5, so the circumference is about 35 inches. All right, and then I had some very simple order of operations like problems for us to solve real quickly because we need these particular skills for the lesson that we're going to do today. All right, 1 squared. That's 1 times 1 is 1. All right, 5 says 9 squared. 9 times 9 is 81. Number 6, 11 squared. 11 times 11 is 121. All right, number 7, what would you do first, the multiplication or handle the exponent? You should handle the exponent first. 3 squared is 9. Bring down the 2 times. And then 2 times 9 is 18. All right, so you should have gotten 18 for number 7. And lastly, before we jump into the lesson, 4 times 6 squared, we would do the exponent first. 6 squared is 36. So we do 4 times 36 is 144. All right, if you missed any of those, go back. If you missed 1, 2, or 3, you can always go back and rewatch yesterday's video to help you understand where you might have messed up. All right, but let's go into area of circles. To find the area of a circle, the area of a circle is the product of pi and the square of its radius. So what that looks like, the formula that we are going to use is A equals pi r squared. Okay, this is the only formula that there is for the area of a circle. Okay, notice that the only formula we have has an r in it. So if they give you a diameter, the first thing you're going to have to do is find the radius, and you find the radius by dividing the diameter by 2. If you try to plug in the diameter for this r squared, it's not the same thing. Okay? Now, what are we talking about when we talk about the area of a circle? Well, Monday and Tuesday when we talked about the circumference, that was the distance around the circle. That was the crust of the pizza. If you took all of the crusts of your pizza and lined them up in a straight row, that would be the circumference of the circle. So what are we talking about when we talk about the area of the circle or the area of the pizza? All right, well, the area is how much space there is inside of this circle. Okay, So we're not going around the circle anymore. Now we're filling up the inside. We're going to see how much mozzarella sauce, or not mozzarella sauce, marinara sauce, or tomato sauce they can put, or Alfredo sauce. If you don't like a red pizza, if you really like a white pizza, we could be talking about Alfredo sauce. But how much room do they have inside the crust to put the toppings? That's what area is. Now, circumference is measured in units. So like meters, or feet, or centimeters, or miles. Area is measured in your unit squared. So meters squared, feet squared, centimeters squared, miles squared. Don't forget the squared. If you say that the area of something is 100 meters, well, that's technically wrong. Okay, it can't be just the unit by itself. It's meters squared, all right? So let's jump into some problems. All right, so these first three problems ask us to find the area of each circle to the nearest tenth. All right, this tells us where to round the tenths place. And we want to use 3.1 for pi. All right, again, please do not use the pi button on the calculator right here, as it will give you a slightly different answer and it may affect what it rounds to. Please, 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 and I know so many of you have been practicing doing this, do not use 22/7 for pi. All right, again, it is a good approximation, but it might give us slightly different answers, and I want us to all get the same answers. So we're going to use 3.14 for pi. All right, so if we're going to find the area, we need the formula for the area of a circle. There's only one. Area equals pi r squared. Then look at your circle. Is this a radius? Yes, because it only goes halfway across. So we are going to use this number for r. All right, we're going to plug in our approximation for pi. And then this says r squared, so we want 4 squared. And then just like we practiced on the problems of the day, we want to do, if we have multiplication and exponents, we want to do the exponent first. So we're going to do 4 squared. 4 times 4 is 16. Now we can do 3.14 times 16. Gives us 50 and 24 hundredths. And then if we look back at the instructions, it says the nearest tenths place. So we look at the 2 and we look at the 4. Is the 4 big enough to push the 2 up? It is not. So the area of this circle is approximately 50 and 2/10 inches squared. Okay, simple. All right, we're supposed to find the area of this circle, so area equals pi r squared. The only problem is they didn't give us the radius. This line goes all the way across. So if they give you the diameter, how do you find the radius? Well, you divide by 2. So we're going to split this in half, and half of this line, half of this 14 is 7 meters. And so when we go to plug in for the r, we're going to plug in 7, not 14. Okay? Area is approximately 3.14 times 7 squared. Do the exponent first. 7 squared is 49. Then we're going to go to our handy dandy calculator. 3.14 times 49 equals 153.86. We're supposed to round to the tenths place. This 6 would push the 8 up to a 9. So the area of this circle is about 153.9 meters squared. All right, we got one more. I haven't left myself a lot of room, but we're going to try to make it work. All right, area equals pi r squared. All right, this time did they give us a radius or a diameter? They gave us a radius. So we use this 9. So that'd be 3.14 times 9 squared. Now you could do these next two steps at the same time. We can do 9 times 9 times 3.14. Give us 254.34. All right, we're looking at the tenths place. The 4 does not push the 3 up. So the area of this circle is about 254.3 millimeters squared. Don't you feel like a genius? I know I do. All right, let's do 4 more where we're supposed to find the area of the circles. Then I have a surprise for us. Find the area of each circle to the nearest unit. The instructions have changed as far as rounding. Where is the nearest unit? Talked about that in the problems at the very beginning of the lesson, that the nearest unit means the nearest whole number. So area equals pi r squared, area equals pi r squared, area equals pi r squared. We're going to start all of these with the same formula because there's only one formula for area. All right, this first one, the line goes all the way across. That means it is a diameter. So the first thing we need to do, because we need the radius, that's what the formula says, is we need to cut this diameter in half. What is half of 22 yards? That would be 11 yards. Then we can use that number. So the area is about 3.14 times the radius is 11 squared. All right, and let me show you a different way to do it on this calculator. 3.14 times 11, and you see this x, ooh, no you don't. All right, and then you see this x squared. If you hit that squared button, it makes it 11 squared. So 3.14 times 11 squared is 379.94. And this one said the nearest unit, so the nearest whole number. All right, well, this 9 pushes this 9 up. And since it's a 9 getting pushed up, it pushes the one in front of it up. So 379.94 would round to approximately 380 yards squared. Area is always your unit squared. Letter E, A equals pi r squared. A is approximately 3.14 times, and this line only goes halfway across, so it is the radius, 11.5 squared. All right, 3.14 times 11.5 squared is 415 and 265 thousandths. We look at the ones place. This 2 would let the 5 stay a 5. So the area is about 415 centimeters squared. All right, good job. We got one more before the surprise. Letter F, we got a circle, but we got a line that goes all the way through. All right, that means that's the diameter. So to use this formula, we need the radius. So we need half of 9. Half of 9 is 4.5. So the radius of this circle is 4.5 miles. All right, 3.14 times 4.5 squared. All right, 3.14 times 4.5 times 4.5, in case you don't have the squared button, gives you 63.585. we're supposed to round to the nearest unit. It'd be this 3. The 5, if you got 5 or above, it pushes it up. So the area of this circle is about 64 miles squared. Okay? Now for the surprise. The surprise is we're going to finish this lesson with some word problems. And now it's time for everybody's favorite part of mathematics, word problems. Here are a couple of word problems in which we use the skills that we just learned. Check them out. All right. The radius of the center circle of a professional hockey rink is 15 feet. So that 15 feet is the radius. What is the area of the center circle round to the nearest tenth? So they're asking for area. There's only one formula for the area of a circle, and that's area equals pi r squared. Luckily in this one they gave us the radius, so we're going to plug that right in. Okay, we have 3.14, which is our approximation for pi, and we've got 15 squared, the radius squared. So 15 times 15 is 225 times pi is 706.5. All right, we were dealing with feet and we're talking about area, so it's feet squared. So the area of the center circle of a hockey rink almost made a happy little accident right there. Hockey rink is about, because we used an approximation for pi, 706.5 feet squared. Okay, easy. Let's look at another one. A standard circus ring has a diameter, okay, it's a circus ring, means it's a circle, has a diameter of 13 meters. What is the area of the ring? And this one says to round to the nearest unit. Okay, so we want the area, pi r squared, but they gave us the diameter, so we need to half that to find the radius, right? So the radius, if the diameter is 13, the radius would be 6.5. Half of 13 is 6.5. So we've got 3.14 times 6.5 squared, because we want the radius squared. So 3.14 times 6.5 squared is 132.665. The instructions, the problem read to round to the nearest unit. That'd be right here. So what does this 6 do to this 2? It pushes it up to a 3. The area is about 133 meters squared. Okay? The area of the ring is approximately, not only because we used an approximation for pi, but because we rounded, it's approximately 133 meters squared. All right, last one. Letter I says, find the area of the shaded region of the circle. Use 3.14 for pi. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. All right, first, let's look at this shaded region. All right, the whole circle is, the whole shape is a circle. But what do you notice about the shaded region? Well, the shaded region is only half of this entire circle. So what we want to do for this one is find the area of the whole circle and then divide by 2 to just get the shaded part. All right, well, first let's work on the area of the circle. Okay, we need pi, that'd be 3.14, times the radius. This line that's labeled 12 inches goes all the way across. So we want half of that line. Half of 12 is 6. So we are going to use 6 squared instead of 12 squared. And then that whole thing we need to divide by 2. All right, let's just do this piece by piece. Got 3.14 times 36 divided by 2. 3.14 times 36 is, and we don't want to round to the very end, 113 400. And again, we just want half of this circle. So divided by 2 is us 56.52. It said round to the nearest tenth. So this 2 lets the 5 stay a 5. So the area is about, and I'm hoping you can still see this, 56.5 inches. It's still squared, it's still area. So the area of the shaded region is about 56.5 inches squared. All right, good job.
All right, that's all I got for you today. Boys and girls, don't forget that tomorrow you will get a practice sheet on areas of circles. Friday, you will get a study guide that you need to complete on your own and turn in for a grade by midnight. Again, that's on Friday. The study guide will be over the coordinate plane, slopes and rates of change, circumference of circles, and areas of circles. Again, that's Friday, and that study guide is due by midnight. I will grade it and get it back to you so that on Monday, when I put out a video where we go over the study guide, you know which problems you missed and which things you need to work on. I will go through on the video Monday, step by step, working every single problem on the study guide to show you how to get the correct answer if you didn't. Even if you did get the right answers, it might be a good idea to watch the video and listen to pick up any finer details that you might have missed along the way. Which all leads us up to Tuesday. Tuesday is the test. Again, that test is on the coordinate plane, slopes and rates of change, and the circumference and areas of circles. Boys and girls, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell on Mr. Brown's channel so that you know anytime he drops a new video. I want to remind each and every one of you to stay safe and don't do drugs.